Hello, everyone, back here. This is Ty interpreting weather, and today we will be discussing our next major winter snowstorm across country. Yes, across country. I'm talking about all the way from Montana down to the southeast, back up to the northeast. It's going to be a huge, widespread event. So let's get started. All right, everyone, taking a look here, we have some cold air left from that last Arctic blast yesterday, and some lake effect snow going on for the Northeast a little bit. But we do get finally our low pressure system entering into Wyoming from Montana. This does intensify a little bit, bringing some snowfall to the south, North and South Dakota and Minnesota. So this is going to give some moderate to heavy snowfall there, but it does really intensify when it gets down to the south. Man, look at that snow in Arkansas. It's not every day you see that. And also, it does even more intensify with some Gulf moisture and a huge dip in the jet stream. It's going to be literally vertical, just going straight down. So, what can you expect from the storm? It's a lot of unknown conditions, but I think it's going to be very bad if you are especially in the freezing rain and mixed precipitation there, because that could mean a lot of damage to a lot of houses and also to the roads, which could cause a lot of accidents. But here we go. It's off the Carolinas right now. It does even intensify even more as it travels up the coast and becomes even more widespread until we get that major bands of heavy snowfall moving right in to most regions of the Northeast, such as Pennsylvania, New York, and pretty much New England. But that quickly switches over to rain if you're in southern New England, especially. It's going to change from snow to rain, but still, this is a lot far away to tell where the exact track is, but most likely we're going to be looking at an inland storm. That seems the most likely right now. But that closes off, and we get that second major Arctic blast right here on Friday slash Saturday. But as the cold does come, the storm does bring even more cold air back down back next week, pretty much midweek next week, if that makes any sense. The storm is supposed to arrive right when it starts warming up, so that could cause some conditions where it might switch to rain more likely. But here are how it's going to play out actually. So, first of all, it goes right down here into Arkansas, past down here, tracks on the Carolinas, transfers its energy back up here, pretty much, and then just races off to the north. But here's the thing, though. Due to this transfer of energy, we don't know which track it's going to take. When you think of it, it's kind of like a bouncy ball, don't you think? Because if this is the flat right here, where we have cold air in the north and a little bit warmer air in the south, this travels with the blue, in between the blue and the red. And as it reaches down here, it bounces like that. So, because of that weird bounce track, we could be looking at a pretty much not predictable storm because it's really hard to tell where it's going to track if it just moves around in random ways. So that is something to look forward to. But so far, I think this is what the track's going to basically look like for now. I believe anywhere in this cone right here, you could be affected by the storm because there is so much possibility for a lot of things to happen. So basically, anywhere in this red right here that I'm marking, it's probably going to track by there. So this is something to watch, and it's still far away to tell, but this track will be even more narrow. But so far, the track looks like something around like this. All right, everyone, taking a look at the European model, sorry. So we do have the same exact setup. We have a low pressure system moving through Montana and Wyoming. It affects more of these regions over here. It's definitely more widespread, but less significant. And we do have this over here. I don't know what that is, but it's bringing some light snow to the East Coast. But this one does go way more south. And what's special about it is, wow, look at that freezing rain. that is slick conditions. That would be basically a bad storm, mostly an ice storm for South Carolina. So you better prepare for that because anything could happen at this point. It's at by the end of the week during the long weekend because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So we do have this storm right here. It does bring a huge swath of heavy snow throughout the Ohio Valley, intensifies way right next to Washington, D.C. This one, it does have the same trend. It is a little bit more in through the interior regions. It doesn't travel up the coast, so it doesn't really intensify that much. But the European model mostly takes it ricocheting off very quickly. It's like a fast bouncy ball where someone threw it at the ground and then it just shot off like a rocket. So this storm is going to be very quick for the European model. But other than that, let's look at the total snowfall amounts just for fun. This is not a full forecast yet. I'm still working on that, but it will come soon by the end of the week. All right, everyone, we are here with the total snowfall accumulations. This is the GFS, the one that is more inland than the European model, but we still have that snowstorm here. We have that huge swath of snow. It's going to bring down here, maybe some isolated, maybe up to a foot somewhere. Someone's going to get, oh, definitely probably a foot around here. But over here, we do have a little bit of a widespread, not really that much snow thing. And I think Chicago's in there. You guys are going to be receiving nothing. Well, that is because of this one storm that's going to dip down, but also this storm. And like, yeah, you see, it's like a bouncy ball. Even some snow reaching down to southern Mississippi. Geez, that is going to be a pretty rare snowstorm, if you ask me. And also, some isolated areas of like probably 2 to 3 feet of snow, maybe even four in very tiny regions. And over here, look at that. Carolinas could be looking at a little bit of snow. Even northern Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, you're going to miss out on a lot of that snow for the central part. Virginia getting a huge swath of it during the Appalachian Mountains over here. We also do have some isolated around probably 2 feet of snow in some places up here, but most of New England gonna see some of that rain mixing in, so not really high snowfall totals unless you live further to the north. So, without a doubt, let's get started with the European model and see what it thinks. All right, everyone, welcome to the European model. We are here with the snowfall accumulations now. Here, it's definitely way more widespread with those heavier amounts. Some more snow moving down to the south and much more to the east. And actually, the dip here where there's going to be no snow at all, it's basically going to be now in Indiana for the European model. The European model is a little bit more eastward with the system, but we do get a more widespread amount of possible half a foot around a lot of areas actually. We do get that jump on the system right near Arkansas and Mississippi. It does bring more snow a little bit more north and east, pretty much. Even some areas over here in the Carolinas could receive a few inches of snow. I definitely think Richmond could have a possibility of getting at least a foot. Probably Raleigh, North Carolina, just an inch or two. Charlotte, North Carolina, possible you might get a half a foot, but the GFS said you might get nothing. So this is major disagreement here. So we're gonna see Illinois probably a few inches in some areas. Chicago picking up on an inch or two, especially Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, a few inches. New York City has a possibility for half a foot. Boston, at least almost half a foot. Bangor, Maine, Augusta, Maine, more than half a foot. Well, anywhere you see purple is basically a half a foot to a foot, and any of these dark reds or a foot or a foot to 2 feet, and any of these wider regions right here is pretty much 2 feet. And if you see any yellowish, that indicates even more than 2 feet. So that's basically it for the models. But now it's time for your weather fact of the day. All right, everyone. This is your weather fact of the day. More than 22 million tons of salt are used on the U.S. roads each winter. That comes out to about 137 pounds of salt per person. Man, that is so interesting. That's basically the weight of probably in a person, actually. So, this is actually a true fact. This is a lot of salt during the winter. So, let's just be thankful that we don't have to deal with shoveling roads, and luckily we have snowplows and salt that could take care of it for us. So that is something that is very cool, and that will be actually it for today's video. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, maybe turn on post notifications if you want to get an update on weather related content. So let's end this with Ty interpreting weather out.